Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. There's a lot going on. There is a lot going on, right? Let's start off with Chairman Powell. Chairman Powell came out yesterday and did exactly what I expected him to do. He's basically going to say there's not going to be a change in January. He said that, hey, we're still, hawkish on the economy, so don't expect anything in March. And that's when everybody went nuts. I don't understand. The man is not a dovish man. Even when he's dovish, even when he's talking dovishly, that last paragraph or last sentence is always hawkish. What were you missing? This is nothing new. What is wrong with you people? So the market took a dip. Is it going to come back today? Like always, yes, it will. Not hard, but people freaked. And I'm just like, why are you freaking? This is, we knew exactly what was going to happen. There's not enough data to actually, make any moves, today, yesterday. There's not enough data to make any moves in March. And he's basically just confirming exactly what we said. I don't know what rumors came out or anything else, but there is not enough data to say, oh, we're going to make a move in March. Plus, for all the people out there that think that he's politically motivated, doing any kind of move in March is dumb because it will wear out, right? It's going to wear out. That's the dumbest thing you could do. So you wait until June, July timeframe and have your decreases continue through the election season. Like what? What is wrong with you? But forget about the conspiracy theorists. There's just not enough data. And everybody who I listen to has already said, nothing's going to happen in March. I don't know why people are talking about that. People need news. That's why. People need news so bad that they will listen to anything that's dumb. Do your own research and pay attention to who's saying what and why. Always pay attention to the why, right? Because some people are motivated by other things. Some people need eyeballs on their, on whatever it is they're writing, an article, this, that, the other. Pay attention to the actual details. That's all I'm saying. Now, something else that caught my attention. Zero knowledge technology is huge, and it's necessary for the metaverse to actually move forward. So what's going on right now? You have a lot of companies and investors actually looking at investing in zero knowledge technology or ZK technology. That should not be a surprise. But how it gets used and how many use cases have opened up since its release, very interesting, right? Private transactions, just interoperability between metaverses, just all kinds of things that ZK technology can help with. So I think that's pretty cool. So if you're looking into direct investment, things like that, that's probably a space that you could take a look at. All right, that's probably a big space you could take a look at. Some other bad news is PayPal is laying off about 9% of their staff, and that equates to about 2,500 people. Unfortunate. And it's around where PayPal CEO is talking about, oh, we have all this new stuff. And it's like, well, you're letting go of 2,500 people. Just saying. It could be, he's basically saying we need to streamline operations. That streamline operations, that's a catchphrase for we need to make the, investors happy by cutting costs, cutting people. And I guarantee you in a little while, you're going to see a whole bunch of jobs open up at PayPal. Just saying. It's just how it works. Look over the course of time. That's just how it works. And that's something we shouldn't be surprised at either. It's layoff season, and that's what people are doing. They overhired during the pandemic, figured out that they can't sustain that, and now they're letting people go. But that's only in certain sectors. Other sectors are going to soak up those people. Why? Because they're hurting for the resources. That's why. So watch. You'll see. That's what I'm paying attention to. Celsius Network comes out of bankruptcy, cuts a $3 billion deal to come out of bankruptcy, comes out of bankruptcy. They have an investment in a new mining company that's about to go IPO. Smart move. I spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. Very smart move. So that's how they're moving. Somebody else that's looking at major moves is FTX. FTX is saying, hey, look, listen, we had been thinking about relaunching. We're not going to. We're not going to relaunch, the platform, but we are going to pay everybody back 100%. That is actually huge. I'd like to understand why they don't want to relaunch, right? That's still technology that can be used or bought or sold or whatever. I'd like to sit down and have an interview with somebody about that. That'd be pretty cool. And then you have Bitcoin miners that are selling, well, they haven't sold yet, but they've moved about 4,000 Bitcoin into exchanges. That signals pretty much they're going to be selling. So that sell is not over yet. But I want you to think about this. Given the halving event, you need more equipment, more rigs for the halving event. Then on top of that, you have increased visibility and transactions on Bitcoin or in Bitcoin. Hence, you need more rigs to handle that. Yeah. They're not selling off because they're greedy. They're selling off because they're greedy. They're going to make more money. So could there be another dip in Bitcoin? Yes. And in this case, greed is good. In this case, greed is good. Just saying, they're preparing for growth is what they're doing. And that makes clear business sense. Now, something else, Bollinger Bands was created by this guy, John Bollinger, back in 1980. And it basically talks about how you can actually see how things are going on. It's 3 bands and you can see how everything is going on with a particular asset. And people are saying you should probably take a look at Bollinger Bands as it pertains to Bitcoin. And this isn't the first time I've heard this. I've been hearing it for the past month. And I'm like, that's interesting. Now, I'm not a chartist. I don't do that kind of stuff. I look at numbers, yeah, but I don't sit there and read and play with charts all the time. I like understanding the news because to me, the news gives me immediate as well as forward-thinking impacts. And I like that. But maybe if you're into numbers, you should try applying Bollinger Bands to Bitcoin and come up with what you see, right? Let me know. I'd like to understand. As a matter of fact, hit me up on growmybag.tv, upload a couple of images of the charts that you've created. That would be interesting. Something else I'm paying attention to. So we all know that Grayscale went on a selling spree. They still have a ton of Bitcoin. I don't know why everybody's freaking out, but they also said, hey, we're going to come out with this, crypto sectors framework. And what they're saying is hey, we're more than just Bitcoin and Ethereum. There are other ways that you can invest. And we should have seen it coming, right? They have the most experience in that space in terms of them and their competitors. And they're saying, hey, we've got more going on and you should be paying attention. This is why you want to work with us. Breadth and depth of services matter. I'm not saying you should go to Bitcoin. Go to Grayscale. They don't pay me. None of them pay me. But I do like the business move. I do appreciate the business move. Now, does it come up with something? Does it show me anything? Haven't seen it yet. I'm not a customer. Will I be a customer? Doubtful. Right? I know what I'm doing with my own crypto. I might read papers and things like that, but I would read papers from everybody. I'd read papers from BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, Fidelity. I read all over the place. Right? That's how I formulate my opinions. So, and I suggest that you do the same thing. Really, it's not hard. It's not difficult. But those are the things I'm paying attention to today. The biggest one, obviously, to me, is going to be all the yap around, Chairman Powell, about what the Fed is not going to do and how the markets reacted. That's why the markets went down yesterday. So no, it should be no surprise. Every time that man talks, every single time the markets go down. It's not hard. So the markets went down and then they recover appropriately. If you're smart, you pray to hear that man talk because what you do is you know exactly what's going to happen, right? And you take advantage. And some of us do and some of us don't. But we should be paying attention to those kinds of patterns, right? Patterns is a big deal. Isn't that right, Peter Donath? And Morgan's crazy about Kilt. And Morgan's crazy about Kilt because Deloitte is on a hiring spree in the crypto space, crypto Web3 space, and they're working with Kilt. I reported about it, a while ago, right? Reported about it a while ago. Again, when you're looking and doing your research, you want to pay attention to things like that, right? So Kilt, a star, nobody was paying attention. Use cases, people, use cases. Toyota's working with us, with the star. And that's a big deal because, everybody licenses Toyota's technology, including freaking Tesla. Just saying, they didn't create this crap. They bought their basis, which was from Toyota. So it's just funny to hear how things work and how people think, right? When I'm looking at investments, I just look at that. And then Elon Musk wants to move his incorporation for Tesla from Delaware to Texas because a Delaware judge said that it's too much. I was watching CNBC this morning, and Andrew Ross Sorkin said something very very smart. He was like, "Listen, everything he said he was going to do, he did." So back when they made this deal, it seemed like an insane deal. He's never going to make it, never going to make it happen, but he did. So if the deal was already cut, he's not. It's not that he's putting forward, "Hey, I want this package." It's we already came up with this deal. And so give me my package. Yeah. If that's the situation, I can't be mad at that. I really can't. I can be mad at the crazy numbers that are done, paid to CEOs and other people in the C-suite. I can be mad about that in general because some of these salaries are insane. But when somebody comes through and does what they say they're going to do, it's hard to not look at that and give a hat tip. So I pay attention. I really do pay attention to these things. I pay attention to what can affect my bag. I don't pay attention to all the fluff and fodder that's out there, right? I pay attention to what can actually affect my bag, and I make note of it. You guys have seen my notes, right? You guys have seen my notes. That's what I do. I try to pay attention to that stuff. And as I'm paying attention to that stuff, I try to keep my notes over time so it's searchable so I can go back and I can look at things. Big suggestion. If you don't have time to do that, what you can do is you can get a membership over at growmybag.tv and you can you're basically looking at all my notes. That's basically what you're looking at. I write an article about everything that I talk about. Or just about everything. So I didn't write an article about Chairman Powell because I didn't see a reason to. It's the same kind of scenario that always happens. But all the other points I spoke about, ZK Technology, PayPal, Celsius, Bitcoin miners, FTX, Bollinger Bands, Grayscale, those are all articles on the website. Anyway, you know what we should do? We should probably get into the numbers. Let me just refresh this. I haven't gone over the data in a minute. Alrighty, so now it's refreshed. Jupiter is up 70%, or down rather 70%. Is that something is that something I should be paying attention to? I have to say probably, right? New DEX, it's in the top 100. Do I expect it to go up again? I think what happened was they said, "Oh, we're going to do this airdrop," and everybody, inflated use. If you use Jupiter, it's on Solana. It's a DEX aggregator, and if you use us, then you'll qualify for airdrops. That's great. That's awesome. That's great. So what is it? We have fictitious transactions, not fake transactions. They're real transactions, but you could have just like your own wallet. I heard another YouTuber say, well, you could have literally woken up in the morning and just kept bouncing between Jupiter and Solana, right? Trading Solana for Jupiter, trading Jupiter for Solana, and going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You have to pay the fees. Those are real transactions. And I want you to think about this. You have to pay the fees. That's how they make money. You pay the fees. So they said, "Oh, well, if you use us, we'll give you an airdrop." What percentage of the fees that they collected were devoted to the airdrop? I'm going to leave it like that. I'm not participating in anything where, they're going to quote unquote pay me to do transactions. What am I going to get back in fees? There's some kid out there who said, "Oh, I got $1 million. I made $1 million off of this." Did you? How much money did you spend? because for all those transactions, you had to pay fees. So the story becomes hard to believe after a while, at least for me. That's just me, though. But let's see who's down. So you have from here down to here that we could pay attention to. Everybody else is in the 5% rule area, which is three areas that I don't pay attention to. SUI is down 6%. Okay, that's probably not for me. That's probably an opportunity. Anybody else I'm paying attention to? Jito, which is brand new, they're down 7%. Is that an opportunity? If you believe in Jito, that could be an opportunity for them. You know, they're ranked 219. Not something that's on my list. Sai is something that's on my list. You know, that I pay attention to. Down 10%. Do I think that's a buying opportunity for me? Yes. What else is there? Dog with hat is down 15%. Do I see that as a buying opportunity? For me, no, because I you know how I feel about meme coins. But you know, could you get in with dog with hat now that it's down? Do I personally think it'll go up? Yes, I do. But here's my problem with meme coins. At some point, it ends. At some point, it ends, and it always ends down. So when is it down? And it's gonna when does it go down and stay down? Because without real use cases, that's just how in my head that's just how it's gonna play out. So I pay attention to that. I'm not paying attention to this Pepe nonsense. Anything that's involved with Pepe, I'm not paying attention to. This one's called Pepe Fork. Apparently there are two. I don't care. I'm not playing with it. Who else is up? It's right here. You don't have a lot of people up, which means that we're going sideways. If you pay attention to this list, that's literally what that means. Because you get down the zero movement, which means you're just moving laterally, right? That's everybody here. That's cool. I had no problem with that. Let's see. Who's trading today? In terms of stocks, you have Apple came out. Well, Apple's coming out today. Amazon, Meta, Merck and Company, pharmaceuticals. Honeywell actually came out with their numbers. Didn't look so good, and they took a little bit of a dive this morning. But you want to pay attention to who's coming out today. Atlassian, you want to pay attention to them. Reason why is they do all the development tools, right? So I pay attention to them because everybody's doing agile and they have a whole bunch of agile tools that people use. And so it can give me an idea about who's doing what, how, and when. Just an idea. But you have a lot of companies coming out with numbers today. It's number season. Pay attention. Please pay attention. If you're in the stock market, you should be paying attention to who's coming out and when. And you can see, well, they'll come, Apple come out with their numbers later on tonight. Same thing for Amazon, same thing for Meta. Honeywell came out. That's what this means. They already came out with their numbers. Didn't look so well, but you should be paying attention to that. If I were you, what I do when I get up in the morning and go to bed at night, I take a look at the list to see who I should be expecting the next day. And I look to see, should I be making a move on any one of those companies, because they could have a nice little pop or a nice little drop. Depending if you're playing stocks options, you can make a lot of money. But, do your own research and see what's up. But that's another tool that I use to evaluate things. Then, we already know we had numbers yesterday, so that's not a big deal. The fear and greed index, we were at 60 yesterday. We're at 63 today. Pretty good. We're moving back into greed. We're moving back into full greed. Not quite there just yet, but almost. Yes, it says it's full greed now, but I want to see green. I don't want to see kind of green. I want to see green. All right, DeFi Llama, we're up to $74 billion. Yes, we took a little bit of a dip. We were as high as, what does it say over here? Blink. Probably about 78, close to 79 billion. When you look at the band that I have, again, we're trading laterally. We're trading laterally within the yellow band, that tight, narrow band that I have between 41,416 and 44,741. Still trading laterally. We had taken a nice little pop up right there. Then we took a big drop right there. But it's still laterally happening laterally within that band, waiting for the next catalyst to boost us up, right? And if you look at the big picture, you can see, hey, Bitcoin is not doing poorly. It's at over 42,000. Ethereum's over 2250. That's nice. I need it to get above 2,300 before I start to feel good about the direction that we're going in, right? Nothing goes straight up, nothing goes straight down. So I'm paying attention to what can be some telltale signs that we're going to be on a longer road up. And then you play appropriately. A lot of people drop Doge, even with the good news that you got from Mark Cuban that the Mavericks are still accepting Doge. Doge took a little bit of a nosedive. And I'm like, yeah, who's really using Doge? That's all I'm saying. I do pay attention to that. They're in the top, top 10 market cap, and you got to pay attention to that. Are they in the top 10? Yeah, they are number 10. Right. So I'm paying attention to those things. SHIB hasn't moved a little bit, but they've got big plans for their, for Shibarium over the next year, 2 years. I like hearing about projects that have a multi-year plan. If you only have a 1-year plan, I really don't want to talk to you. But if you've got a multi-year plan, now you're playing chess, not checkers. I like that. Looking at the list. Okay. Things are moving. Kind of still moving sideways. To me, still an opportunity. You're not hitting any all-time highs right now. So to me, still a buying opportunity, right? Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. Hope you like what I'm doing. Again, everything that I talk about, you can find those articles. If you don't have time to listen, you can find those articles on growmybag.tv. And I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye. Oh, if you like what I'm doing, drop me a note. If you don't like what I'm doing and you have good ideas about how I can improve. Somebody said I need to improve my sound. Somebody else said I need to improve, just a couple of things. And I tried to do it. I do not do research on things that you have not even tried to do research on. So when you ask me to do research on something, I'd like you to say, hey, I did research on this and I came up with this. Can you tell me what you think? That's the kind of research I like to do, because it shows that you're not being lazy. You're actually doing your own research. I like that. That means we're having a conversation about something, and I love conversations. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv, and I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.